Now we can start adding the clothing into the mix, let's say. I'll often flatten pieces one at a time, just for sake of sort of speed. Just grabbing a chunk, flattening it, grabbing a chunk, flattening it, and it'll make life a lot easier. Now we've got the same scenario happening here that we did, with the body. That effectively we have a right and a left, and can we just delete one half and work on the other half and flatten just half the model? And it also looks like we've got some ankle issue. I think when turbo smooths on, that goes away, but the legs could even be cut off sooner in the boots, and we don't necessarily need those pieces. So, let's go ahead and do that. Let's get rid of half the models that we don't need. So I'm going to, pick one of these, and I'm going to go into sub-object 5 and just delete that and get out of there. Same thing, 5, and, pick all this, delete. And we could do the same thing for the body, but I'm just going to leave it as one piece because I want to split it off the same way that we ended up doing the body underneath. So this bodysuit is going to be just split down the side. So it's going to be really easy to achieve anyways. Now that I've pack those, I'm going to, or sorry, split those up. I'm going to go ahead and unwrap these pieces here just on their own, because they can then get flipped over and we can sort out the UVs on them. So again, I'm just going to pick them all, hit the UV editor, and then look at how we want to split these up. So with the edge loops on them, I'm just going to go down and select some of these and start breaking them up, and figure out where those seams need to be on these pieces. And I'm not sure if I can take that down underneath, but we're going to find out. I don't think so. I think there's sort of an open piece in the bottom of the foot there. It might just be a panel. So let's actually find out how that piece flattens on its own. So we can grab that chunk now, and I'm going to turn off pack, and I'm just going to go ahead and unfold it in place. And it seems to have unfolded just fine. So perfect. We can just split it down the back. That makes it real easy. Now this piece of the shoe, I think it's open in the top, yeah, by the looks of it. And we might want to consider just splitting off the bottom. So we can split off the bottom by either going to our edge loop and looping around the outside, or we can go to the polygon mode and turn on select by planar, and that'll allow us to be able to select inside of an angle, make it really fast to pick that. So I can just break that chunk off. I should probably break this bottom chunk off here and make sure that's broken. And let's just flatten all these just for sake of argument, see what happens. And, now that we've broken some pieces, so that one looks like it is fine. That looks like it might be good, except this is going to be a real problem right here. It's all jamming all this in here, and there's zero pixel density going to happen there. This piece looks like it's kind of getting swizzled, or something. And that is the arm up here. So we're going to have to split that up. So that definitely isn't working. This piece here is the bottom of the sole. That's the very, very bottom of the heel. But this is definitely has to have a split happening, around it somewhere. And I'm thinking probably the best bet is going to be taking it around and then underneath, making sure that's all I break off, break. And then we'll want to split it down the middle. And again, I can grab one here and I can do the loop in here and then go break. And again, the break is right here that you could use if you want to, if you like clicking buttons and reaching for them. I'm just one of those people that doesn't like reaching for buttons. I'm going to grab those and just flatten them, see if they flatten better. And it looks like they do. So that's all flattened. Now we just need to worry about the arm. Jump up to the arm here. Same thing, I'm going to go and grab an edge loop. Maybe it's up the back. Something like that might work. But we're going to have to loop around. And I'm going to go and just isolate everything so that I can see what I am looking at. Because this geometry here is a bit odd, but that's can be broken. And I think that's all broken there properly. And then this is going to have to get broken too. This piece here, we're going to have to split this somehow to get it to break properly. and to flatten out. So now that we've got this piece done, I can just go ahead and see if that comes out flat. Let's check our patterns. So I'm going to go in and just up the checker pattern here to like 10 again, and we'll turn that on and see what our patterns look like. If that's working out well. It is. For whatever reason, when you got multiple objects selected, it won't show. So I'll often have a separate material, a checkerboard material that I'll apply. But that looks to me like it's probably flattening all pretty good. So that is the leg and the arm that's all jammed together. So I'm just going to pack that into that space. Now this space has already been used by another UDIM. And we're going to just move this outside so they're not laying on top of one another. All the UDIMs, of course, have to be in positive direction. They have to be up here. I'm just shoving it over there temporarily. So now that I have that done, let's go ahead and symmetry. You can see that the center is all in the middle like it should be. Mesh editing, symmetry, and we're supposed to be on an X, but of course it comes out on some kind of wacky angles, in the wrong place because the center is being placed in the center of the selected meshes. So we can easily select the symmetry point here with one on the keyboard, and we can just zero that out because we know everything has to be in the center, and turn off that slice along mirror plane, or you can hit flip in the X if you want. Either way will work. So there's the other half done. Now again, let's go back in and sort of unpack those correctly. So we can, unpack those and get them off at the top of each other. But I'm going to do that with the body showing. So I'm just going to convert this all down to editable poly. And let's grab the body as well. And then let's grab the entire, the body suit and then the body. And then let's do an unwrap on those. If you notice, my unwrap window always opens as well. It's because I went into options and said always bring up the editor window and then saved it as my default. So this is going to have some issues, as you can see here. I'm going to pick all of the body, and those are all the body pieces. I know they're all attached together. And I'm going to turn on my the multi-tile. I'm going to hold down Control, and I'm going to move the entire body up into the second row, okay, which is going to be 1011, 1012, 10, okay, and as far as UDIMs go, they're going to be across the top there. Now I can look at these pieces and start to break these down. So I'm going to isolate these and then think about where the best spot to split all of these elements up. So you can see where I've got it. I'm just going to go in and grab that one and that one. I believe they're in the same place. Nope, they're not. It's that one there. And I'm going to break those. And again, I'm just going to make sure I've got these pieces picked. And let's turn off the pack and just do an unfold on that and see what these look like. So I don't have them split completely because they're coming together underneath for one. So I'm going to do a split there. And of course, there might be somewhere else. I don't think there is. So let's see what that does. Let's see what that gets us as far as an unfold again. And it looks like it does still saying attach somewhere, which is no problem now. I can do that right in the editor here, double click, break. And I'm going to go over to this side and I'm just going to double click that and say break again. And that should be broken apart now. So with those, let's just flatten those. And indeed, now we've got proper breakup of our pieces. So those two pieces should pack together into a space, let's say. And so let's pack those in and see what we get. Now, again, is this one of those scenarios where we're just going to have to pack more into this space because we're just not going to fill our UV space very well with these two small pieces. So it doesn't look like it is, and it looks like I could get a lot more parts in there, and that might be all of these, but all of these are doubled up again. So we need to concern ourselves with the ones that need to be flipped over. So let's go and grab all the pieces that are going to be doubled up. That one's right and that one's left, and that one's left. And I think there's little tiny dots in there somewhere. There they are there. That's the right and that's the left. We could probably weld those back into some space again or something. So all of these should show up as being inverted. Select inverted, and yes indeed. Oh, we forgot the one of these. Do I have the wrong one? Oh, that one's it. I had the wrong one. There you go. So all of these are inverted. So select inverted, and they're all on the left side of the character. Grab all those, flip them over so they're not inverted anymore. Let's see what happens when we pack all this into one space. Again, it may not be what we want though, but let's see what happens when we jam all of those. So we know they're all flat. Go ahead and do a pack. And we want to then check and see what kind of pixel density we've got. Again, I usually just work with a checker pattern on the whole character while I'm doing this sort of thing. Pack isn't very good, and can we spread this out some? Can we pack other pieces that are going to look a little bit better? So maybe those, and then maybe the arm pieces. So let's grab the two arms and try packing those into a space. We might be able to fill some space that way. We could see what that's going to look like. And then what about packing all these into a space? And what kind of pixel density we're getting. That should pack pretty good. This one looks like we might be able to fit more elements in there, or we're going to have to break up these elements to be able to get a better pack going on. And that might be breaking off the piece that goes over the back of the hand. Maybe it's breaking off something in this chest piece or the back piece, splitting them in half or something if we wanted. But the other thing we want to avoid is having too many seams. More smaller pieces, easier to pack. More seams. Less seams to deal with and worry about in our models, but it's going to be harder to pack and fill the space. So this is all starting to go pretty good. Let's say we've got that packed and we want to move on to the rest of them. So again, what I'll tend to do is keep moving them over and maybe even up into a new UDIM up above. And then we're going to, I'm just trying to keep this one clear for now. And then once it's all finished and said and done, I can just grab everything and move it all down and make sure that I'm not crossing over any UDIMs. We don't want to be crossing over into another UDIM with a piece. You could still paint on it, but you're probably going to cause yourself a little bit of grief, when you've got this little sliver of the hand in with the body and you're trying to maybe work on shaders and things, and it just becomes a headache. So don't let that happen. So I still have my one-to-one space clear, but once I'm done, I can grab everything and just slide it all down and we'll be able to have it all packed in. So that is some of the good packing techniques you can use to resolve issues, to get things to pack tighter together, to find your overlaps, things of that nature, and some tidbits of wisdom as to what to do and what not to do.